Rev it up and welcome to Cars Yeah, show number 1977. Be prepared to be inspired.
This is Cars Yeah, where you'll enjoy interviews with inspiring automotive enthusiasts. Mark Green is here to provide you with a fuel injection of automotive inspiration. So get in, sit down, buckle up, and get ready for a wild ride here on Cars Yeah.
Hello, inspiring automotive enthusiasts, and welcome to Cars Yeah. Today I'm in Glendora, California with a very special guest by the name of John Buck. John, welcome to Cars Yeah. Do you have any gear, and are you ready to release the clutch?
Yes, I am.
Yeah, for a guy who's into hot rods and cool cars, most definitely going to burn a little rubber today. Now, before I give you a proper introduction, what's one little thing that maybe most people don't know about you, John?
You know, I used to be on the planning side of the world as a Western representative for the Los Angeles Convention and Visitors Bureau. So I'd bring big conventions into Los Angeles.
Well, that's perfect for what you do now.
Yeah, it is now.
Absolutely. Well, lots of big conventions. I've been to so many big shows, and of course, the biggie in the auto industry, SEMA. I think I've been to 31 of those now. But I used to travel all over the world and go to shows like Auto Mechanica and shows in Japan and all over the place. And it always awed me when you went to these shows how they all came together and worked, because there's so many thousands of moving parts. How do you guys do that? You must have great teams around you.
Big teams, yeah, exactly. And the pre-planning that goes into it lasts a lifetime.
A whole year.
It takes off. Yeah, exactly.
Wow. What are some of the big conventions that you were involved with before you started your business?
I was involved with U.S. Gymnastics coming to the Staples Center was my first big, large hall booking. They just opened that up, and we had U.S. Gymnastics. We had figure skating championships, American Bar Association, American Dental Association. 4 out of 5 dentists approve. Those
Yeah.
guys would all come. So I competed against like Anaheim and San Diego and San Francisco for time and dollars.
Wow. Well, amazing job, you and your team and all the people who put on shows around the world. Well, we're going to talk about car shows today, so let me give you a proper introduction. John Buck is the owner and producer of Rod Shows, producers of the West Coast premier indoor hot rod and custom car shows, including the Grand National Roadster Show, that's a big one, and the Sacramento Autorama. I love that name, Autorama. Right. It just sounds good to say. He and his team invite top designers, builders, and fabricators, assuring their guests get to experience the newest and freshest hot rods, customs, motorcycles, and classics. The Grand National Roadster Show, once known as the Oakland Roadster Show, will celebrate its 72nd year. That's incredible. And it's coming up this coming January 28th through the 30th. It's the longest running indoor car show in the world. You'll see over 500 vehicles and another 400 to 800 vehicles at their 16th annual Granddaddy Drive-In. So it will be absolutely out of this world. John's goal is to produce the best experience possible for entrants, guests, and vendors who enjoy his events. We'll be back in just a minute, but first a word from our special sponsors today. Give them a little love, and we'll be right back. I love Covercraft's new 5-layer all-climate cover. It was developed and engineered for anything Mother Nature can throw our way. It's very soft, breathable, and easy to store, and pampers your paint and interior surfaces, providing maximum UV, rain, dust, and snow protection. Add their gust guards for windy conditions for extra protection. Their 5-layer all-climate cover is custom-tailored with Covercraft's attention to detail, form and fit with a quality and attention that's been their standard since 1965. Covercraft protects cars, trucks, motorcycles, RVs, trailers, and watercraft too. Every one of my vehicles is protected by a Covercraft cover. And I have a deal for you. Use the code YEAH21 at covercraft.com and you'll get 10% off your Covercraft order plus free shipping. That's right, 10% off and free shipping. Just type in the word YEAH, Y-E-A-H, 21 at checkout, YEAH21 at covercraft.com. Covercraft, protecting the things that move you. Most people don't think about their collector car insurance until their annual premium becomes due. Well, why wait and see if there are better options for your beloved rides? I didn't. Did you know if you change carriers before your policy runs out, your insurance company has to refund you the unearned portion of your policy premium? I did my homework, I shopped around, and I found American Collectors Insurance. And that's who protects my Porsche Turbo. That's right, the one I call my Orange Crush. They've been protecting collector vehicles since 1976. I encourage you to call my friends at American Collectors Insurance. Ask them about their agreed value policy. And if your collector vehicle is on your regular auto policy, you will be shocked at the savings, not to mention the assurance, should something bad happen to your ride, that you'll get what your vehicle is actually worth. Give them a call today for a quote at 866-ACI-YEAH. That's 866-224-9324. Tell them you're a friend of Mark Green at Cars Yeah, American Collectors Insurance. Classic car insurance designed by collectors for collectors. Automotive enthusiasts just like you and me. That's American Collectors Insurance. Give them a call today. So, John, we are back. So I'd love for you to talk a little bit more about these events. And let's start with the one coming up soon, because the new year is almost here, which is pretty cool. This year couldn't have gone by faster. We'd like to get it behind us, I think, in the rearview mirror, as I like to say. But the Grand National Roadster Show is one of these shows that is like the one to go to. If you're into this kind of genre car, you get the best of the best. So talk about your involvement when you first got involved with the show, what people can expect to see, and what's going to make 2022 even more special than years past.
Yeah, the Grand National Roadster Show, it has a nickname, the Granddaddy of them all, and it's been around, like you said, the longest of them all. It is an amazing event, started in Oakland, California, and it moved around in the Bay Area a little bit until it was spotted by myself and one of my colleagues at the Fairplex in Pomona as a potential event to bring down. And so we did that. I was the director of sales at the Fairplex at the time, and Jason Wilson was my sales associate. And we convinced the then owner of the show, Dan Sear, to move the event down to Pomona, the birthplace of hot rodding.
Oh, yeah.
Got the NHRA drag strip and the museum there, and we just thought, boy, it'd be a great fit. Well, it took 3 buildings at the facility, and I just knew it was going to be a hit. So after a couple of years of the show being there and talking to the owner of the event who was looking to retire, I made a deal and purchased the event as well as the Sacramento show, and we've been running at that fairgrounds ever since. It's going on its 15th year there, and it's an amazing event. We take up all the buildings there. There's 9 buildings with cars in every building. There's activities that are everything from bands to pinstriping events to pinup girls. There's a model car contest. There's stuff to do for the kids. There's fair food, of course, and cars and more cars. More. Celebrities too. Yeah. So we've just got a gamut of stuff happening.
It's incredible. I mean, there's so much that goes on at this event. 72 years of history to get it right, and it just keeps getting bigger and bigger and bigger every year. Tell the listeners today, because a lot of people think of this show, okay, it's just one kind of car, but no, you've got all sorts of stuff.
Yeah, we have everything. In fact, we have a feature building every year. The feature building this year is air-cooled Volkswagens.
Oh,
so we've
awesome.
got 107 different Volkswagens that are going to be here. Everything from the Cow Bug that John Buck made when he was 18 years old to Billy Gibbons is bringing out his little buggy from Texas that'll be there. And
nice.
So it's buses and things and everything air-cooled. It's going to be Myers-Manx. It's going to be pretty amazing.
Oh, I love it.
So not just that, but then we've got custom cars, we've got hot rods, we've got roadsters. Our big awards are the America's Most Beautiful Roadster Award, which is defined by a car that doesn't have a side glass and can have a removable top. And those cars, we have 12 of those that compete every year for America's Most Beautiful Roadster. Their name goes on a 9.5-foot tall perpetual trophy. Names like Boyd Coddington, Chip Foose, George Barrett, Blackie DeGean. Those are some iconic names they're already on the trophy that have won over the years. And when it started, it was 8 foot tall, and now it's 9.5 feet tall because we just keep adding layers to it. Yeah. So it's pretty cool.
It's like the big trophy at the Indy 500.
Yeah, like the Borg Warner Trophy at the Indy 500. Correct.
Yeah.
And we have another trophy that's the Al Slonaker Award. That's for any car that's not a roadster in the show. ARP Fasteners is our sponsor for both of those. They sponsor $12,500 check plus a really bitch and billet before the Swaniker Award, and like I said, there's a perpetual trophy, and they get to take home a nice wooden trophy as well for the Amber Award. So they're amazing high-end, high-dollar vehicles that are being shown for these, first time shown, and they're builders from all over the country, all over the world that actually compete. And then on the other books, we've got things like Southern California Lowriders, which are just a staple down here in Southern California. Some beautiful Lowriders. The paint on these cars are just absolutely amazing. And we have this year is a lot of trucks. C10s and F1s and some 1950s and 60s style trucks that have really been gone over and completely redone and are being debuted at the show. So we're excited about that.
You see trucks in the collector car market really coming on strong in the last 10 years.
Yeah.
More and more people into them.
Wild.
And again, I think it's a generational thing. Trucks have been a big deal in the United States, especially forever. It's just a staple, but then customizing. I just had a guest on my show a few days ago, and her dream car of choice was, and she's British, was a 250 Highboy. And
there you go.
And I'm like, and she's an artist. I'm like, why that vehicle? She goes, oh, it's just like cool. And yeah, they're just love. But you're going to talk also, the other thing you have are two-wheeled cool rides, motorcycles.
Absolutely. We've got motorcycles in the show as well. We've seen the motorcycle market evolve and change over the years, from swoopy customs to baggers to traditional bikes, and we get them all, and it's great to see. We also have a traditional rod and custom room called the Suede Palace, where a throwback to the 1950s. They've got the rockabilly bands playing in there, and they've got the vendors that sell the gear and clothing of that era, and it's a lifestyle for these kids. So it's pretty cool to see.
Oh, it just sounds fantastic, and it takes place over 3 days. Can you see it all in one day, or is this something you need to keep coming back for?
You got to keep coming back for it. I mean, you can get through. You could be tired by the end of the day. So we recommend you coming on a Friday or Sunday, and Saturday, of course, is the busiest day. But if you can do a Friday, Saturday, or Saturday, Sunday, you're going to do well.
Yeah, I think so. Now, the other thing you've got going on is your 16th annual Granddaddy Drive-In. Tell us about that.
Yeah, the drive-in was something that had never happened before, and was something of an idea of mine. Being in Southern California, with the weather being as ideal as it is this time of year, we wanted to have cars come and join us between the buildings, and around the event, and celebrate those cars that are drivers. And so we created the drive-in 16 years ago, and it's amazing. We'll get 400 to 800, 900 cars on Saturday.
Oh my gosh.
Friday we'll get 500 to 600 cars that park between the buildings. They have their own little awards program as well. They'll get customized plaques. The magazines are there giving out their picks, and we have the Granddaddy drive-in picks, and it's a pretty awesome thing. And we have outside bands playing for those guys, and like I said, the food vendors, both inside and outside. So it really makes it a robust event, because everywhere you look, there's cars.
Oh gosh, sounds absolutely fantastic. Now, talk a little bit about Sacramento Autorama and that show.
Yeah, that show is the second longest running indoor car show in the world.
You got first and second.
First and second, yeah, you can't beat it. And the Sacramento Autorama really encompasses the best of all worlds. It has a phenomenal following of lowriders up there, a phenomenal following of club cars, a phenomenal following of custom cars. It's the custom capital of the world, as we call it. George and his brother Sam Barris started in Sacramento, chopping Mercuries back in the day. And there's just a slew of customizers up in that area. And so we give away our Custom the Elegance Award up at that show. And so traditional custom cars, and we just have a great time up there. It's a good event.
When does that event take place?
Okay, that one's going to be, we've actually shifted. It used to be in February. It's going to be the last weekend of April now. So April 29th through May 1st. Okay,
cool. Perfect. And the weather, of course, is always beautiful up that part of the world. And it'll be a little bit warmer maybe from winter. Yeah. Sacramento's inland, so it can get pretty hot in the summertime and a little chilly in the wintertime, but that's perfect time of year to escape your rain like I have here, or your snow on the East Coast, and come out to California and have some fun. You've been a car guy, sounds like, for a long, long time. When did you realize that jumping from events into specifically car events was the right thing for you to do?
It really was an eye-opener once we had the event down at our facility at the Fairplex back in 2003. And I was very happy at the facility, and that opportunity to have a conversation with Dan Sear, the previous owner, was pretty forthcoming. And there was opportunity there to be my own boss and have some flexibility of working with a facility I already knew. So it just became a natural process. It was great.
Is there a specific genre of custom cars that you really love? I won't say more than others, but that you're really fond of. I'll put it that way.
Yeah, I love the hot rods and the muscle car. I mean, it's there's a wide variety there. But I own a '33 Ford. Nice. Little Roadster, and I've got a '56 Chevy that's a mild custom. So I got the best of both worlds there.
Sounds like it. When you think about your events, John, what is the favorite part of these events for you?
I think just being there in the adrenaline of it all. I mean, you have people that you haven't seen all year. They're coming together, and it's a big family reunion. And whether it's a guy like Billy Gibbons walking around next to you, or
that'd be pretty cool.
Yeah, or some of these. We've got 3 guys that are being inducted into the Hall of Fame this year. Billy Gibbons happens to be one of them. Roger Odell, who's a custom car guy, and Eric Pratt, Pinky's Hot Rod Shop out of Colorado, and he's a hot rod guy. So it's kind of neat to talk to all 3 of these guys. They're all different perspectives of the hot rod world.
Oh man, some iconic names in that bunch there.
Yeah.
How about a driving inspiration? Someone who's been real influential, or maybe a mentor for you in your career.
During my career, as I got into this very early in the game, I clung on to Blackie Jijian. He was the promoter of the Fresno Autorama, and he had an invitational-only show, and Blackie was the best of the best. He won the trophy in 1955, and he was the first guy to chrome the undercarriage of his car. And so he brought his cars to the shows, and he hired 4 big muscle guys to lift the side of the car up so people could see underneath the car.
Oh, my God.
Well, a couple ladies walked by and said, "Why are you doing that?" And they said, "Well, we're showing off the underside." They said, "Why don't you put a mirror underneath it? Make it a lot easier." He said, "Where can I find one of those?" So he literally went in the ladies' room and took the mirror off the wall and used a couple coffee cans, and there you have it. He was the first guy not only to chrome the undercarriage, but to use a mirror, and that was a show car.
Well, so leave it to the women to be a little brighter, maybe.
Exactly.
That's hilarious. That's a great story. Wow, Blackie, and his chromed underside, Gene. Yeah, that's iconic. I love that. We're going to take a short break. We come back. I want to talk about maybe some challenges that you've come across with putting on shows. I have a feeling there might be a few. So keep the seatbelts on, and we'll be right back. Did you know that Cars Yeah is in the top 1% of all podcasts based on listenership, according to Libsyn, the premier RSS feed for podcasts in the United States? That's right. And Cars Yeah is the only 5-day-a-week automotive-focused podcast for you to get your message into the ears of thousands of listeners daily from all over the world. Plus, DuPont Registry recommended Cars Yeah is one of their top 10 car podcasts for you to enjoy. Cars Yeah has experienced tremendous growth. Plus, your ads are evergreen, meaning they never go away. And more listeners find Cars Yeah every day for their daily dose of automotive inspiration. Do you want to expose your brand to a highly targeted list of automotive enthusiasts in a very unique and very personal way? Well, I can help you. Contact me, Mark Green, at mark@carsyeah.com or through the website at carsyeah.com today to learn more. I've discovered Linkage. It's a new quarterly publication and website that covers the automotive market, driving, restoring, collecting, and discovering your passion for motor vehicles. Linkage is about experiences, opinions, and values. Linkage is an actual informed, reasoned opinion based on first-hand experiences. A talented Linkage team covers the automotive world, the people who share your passion and mine, smart, considered, rational, and experienced opinions. Ones you can learn from and grow. That includes our passion that drives auctions and the collector car market. So come with me and join us on this journey. And be sure to use the code CARSYEAH when you subscribe, and they'll give you $10 off. Boom! Linkage, geared for the automotive life. Subscribe today at linkagemag.com. So, John, we're back. So, putting on shows like this has to have a few challenges, maybe a few obstacles, maybe even a failure or two in the past. But more importantly, how'd you get through those particular situations, and how did you learn from them so things became even more positive? And I would imagine one of the biggest ones you faced in the last 2 years was this damn pandemic.
Yeah, the pandemic just really hurt us last year. We had to take the year off. And moving forward this year, we are still kind of in kind of a hold mode of what our protocol will be at the show. I've got meetings with the facility in a couple of weeks just to kind of go over what the needs are going to be. But it changes on a daily and weekly basis. So we just we're gonna follow what our guidelines are, and we'll still have an amazing show. But I think one of the things when I first took over this event, the previous promoter and the promoter before him and the promoter before him had always had a policy of, hey, when you book the show, you book 5% over because you're going to have cancellations. And when I took over the show, we followed that rule for 2 years only, because what happened was the show had grown from 3 buildings to 9 rather quickly. And the word and the reputation on the show had gotten so good that nobody was canceling. So here we are, and I've got a gate full of 20 people sitting outside the gate with their vehicles chrome polished, ready to go to be put in a show, and we didn't have space for them.
Oh no!
And I didn't have, and I didn't have the heart to tell them that we couldn't do it. So, in a panic mode, I called the facility. There's a small museum. There's an NHR museum, and right above it there was a small art gallery. And I said, hey, just give me a price. I need to rent that room. And they said, well, there's no way to get cars in there. I said, we'll figure it out. So we literally took the glass doors off of this room, and we got those cars
good for you.
Into the building. Yeah. But we learned pretty quick, hey, do not overbook the show. And so what we've come to do is we've actually assigned spaces. So a car will not only be assigned a space, but a move-in time to where it's very comfortable. They know they're coming in at 10 in the morning or at noon or at 2. They don't have to be there earlier than that time. They can just drive right in and check in. They're told which building to go to. We have a team of go-to guys that accept them in and show them exactly right where their spot is, help set them up on the floor, and let them have a great experience. Sign off the car, and then they go get their credentials, and they're off run. And I think learning that over those years, those hard knocks, and that year, we were probably into 9 o'clock at night by the time that we got everyone in. We should have been done by 4. So it was a nightmare for us, but it worked out. Those people were happy. We were happy. You just have to learn from stuff like that.
Well, yeah, and that kind of leads me to my next question. That is, I typically ask about bucket list looking into the future, but I'm going to switch this up a little bit because you made a nice segue for me here. As time has moved on, you've learned things like that story. Don't overbook yourself. What's going to be happening in this year's show that maybe didn't happen in shows past that you learned we should be doing this, or we're going to try this in the coming year? Because one thing I know about events, if you don't keep improving them, changing, adding to them, they eventually die because they get boring, because people go, well, this is kind of what I saw last year. I wanted to see something new. So what's one of the big things? I know one of them offhand I mentioned is bringing the newest builders and new builds in the shows.
Yes, and that is critical. And to do that, you need to offer up incentive for them, awards for them, like the Slonaker Award or the Amber Award, to where they're competing against their peers. And the judging staff is so critical and so important. And we have some amazing guys that are actually on that panel of judges, guys like Bobby Alloway, who's a famous builder, Brian Brennan, who's a magazine editor, just to name a couple of these guys. And they are meticulous when they look at the vehicles. And when it's all said and done, they get it down to 2 or 3 vehicles. We go around on a Saturday, and I sit in the room and just listen to these guys, because I want to know what their final thoughts were, because I'm going to have one happy person. I'm going to have 11 guys that aren't going to be so happy. It just always works that way. But the judges have done an amazing job, and they always do, and they always seem to get the right one. So that's a blessing right there, and we're happy about that. But to to answer your question, like on the drive, and we've included Friday this year, so it's going to be a Friday, Saturday, Sunday. We've instituted. It's the 90th anniversary of the Deuce, which is the 1932 Ford.
Oh, that's right. Oh my gosh!
And so we're gonna have a lot of Deuces in a corral area and celebrate them and have some swag for them. And plus the Volkswagens room that room changes every year. You know, it's been several. It's been race cars in the past. It's been travel trailers. It's been all different kinds of things. There'll be trucks next year. So we're always looking for something new to show the general public to keep them excited about coming.
Yeah, well, I've got to get down there because when I was in high school, my car was a Carmen Ghia. So
there you go.
Love the old VW. That was my poor man's Porsche, as I say.
Yeah,
that's what I really wanted. But a high school kid buying a Porsche sometimes don't mix very well. So
right,
they're a little pricey. But yeah, my paperboy money and car waxing money bought me a nice Carmen Ghia. So I'll bet there'll be some nice ones down there.
There'll be some amazing ones.
Yeah, let's talk about a special vehicle in your life. Is there one car vehicle that stands out for you? And tell us about that ride.
Well, you know what? The 33 Ford that we were talking about is a very special car. In 2008, we decided, it was the 60th anniversary of the show, that we were going to build a car on a stage and have it turnkey on Sunday night and drive away.
No way.
And so after a lot of thought and planning, we got an American Speed body, we got a frame from TCI, we got a motor from Roush, and the list just kept growing. And it ended up turning into there was a television show called Hot Rod TV at the time, and they actually did a special on it. And the surprise at the end of the event was that became my company car. It was
nice.
They handed the keys to me and said, "Hey, turn it over."
Yeah, and
it was great. The license plate says 60 GNRS on it, and it's a very special car. I've got about 25,000 miles on it now.
For you,
and yeah, it's amazing.
That is hot. What a great story. Well, I'm going to crawl into your head a little bit here and be your car psychologist. If you were manifest as a car, what would John Buck be? But more importantly, why?
That's a good question. I think that I would be a 2021 SRT Hellcat Durango. It's a family car. All right, seat 6, so you can get around, but it can blow the doors off a Lamborghini Aventador. So it's got a little. It's reserved. It's quiet. It's not in your face, but it's got all the power you need.
There you go, and you can have fun with the family at the same time. So
exactly,
even better. Nice answer to that question.
Thank you.
Now, with your event, are there some ways that you guys help give back to the automotive sector? Is there some philanthropy involved, or maybe
there's a ton of philanthropy?
Yeah, I kind of thought so.
Yeah, we do every year. We're proud to say that we do a charity auction, pinstripers auction at the event. And we've got a great group of guys and gals that get together. There's 40 to 50 pinstripers from around the world. And they do everything from striping phones to laptops.
Oh, so you can bring something and they'll stripe?
You can bring stuff.
Oh, cool.
Yeah. They have everything from trash cans to surfboards there.
Oh, my God.
Guitars. But let me tell you, they do an amazing job, and on average, they'll raise between $50,000 and $100,000 for the charities,
wow.
which is amazing for a weekend.
Yeah.
This year, there's a small company in town called In and Out, and they have a charity called Slave to Nothing, and that's going to be the charity of choice. And
nice.
They are it's protecting women and children from sex trafficking and whatnot. So we're excited about it. Yeah.
That's really nice. Well, I figured you did, and I've been to events like that where, cool, you can bring anything you want and somebody will pinstripe it for you. I mean, just about everything you can imagine. One guy was getting his sunglasses pinstriped on the sides, and I even there was a lady there who had one of those big mixers that you make, bread with or whatever in the kitchen that she lugged. I mean, things got to weigh 50 pounds, and had that pinstripe. So that's pretty cool. I love it. Is there a great book that you've read that you think our listeners would enjoy, that you had some fun with or learned from?
You know what? I just got a book called Hot Rod Dreams. It's by Larry Erickson and Dave Boulay, and it is basically all about car shows and the car show culture.
Ah.
So if you're not familiar with our culture, it's a great book, and it's got everything from the Detroit Autorama, which is where the Riddler Award is. That's my friendly competitors in Detroit, all the way to the Grand National Roadster shows in there, and it's a pretty awesome book.
Yeah, sounds like it'd be a cool book. Fantastic. I love it. Well, I have a magic wand that allows me to take you on the ultimate drive. The checkbook is wide open for you today. You can pick any vehicle to be in. You can pick anybody to be with, living or deceased, and you can be driving anywhere you want to be. What does the ultimate drive look like for a guy like you, John?
I think the ultimate drive for me would be going back in time and maybe getting in a car with Henry Ford, like when he was doing his prototype of the 32, and he goes to a V8 and just to get in the car and let him drive and have him tell me all about this new invention that he's come up with, and that thing really moved. I mean, you hear stories of the 32 and the 33 Ford. Even Bonnie and Clyde wrote a letter to Henry Ford saying, "Man, that car really gets me where I need to go."
Yeah. That's a very cool answer to that question, because many people have picked people that are from the past, but to be with the guy who created such an iconic car that has so much to do with your events and that whole world of hot rodding, that would be something. Now, wouldn't it be cool to be able to bring him in a 32 to your event and have him walk around and see what people are doing with his cars today?
Oh, he would die. I mean, there's more 32s on the road today than were ever created. So
I know.
I think it's amazing.
He's like, I don't think we made this many cars here, right. John. What's going on here? But yeah, I always thought if you could bring people, you think of the Ford versus Ferrari movie and bring Henry Ford back to that and see what they're building in the process. Now, whether he would have liked what his grandson was doing or the way he behaved, I don't know. We'll see. But I think for Henry Ford to do what he did, he had to be a pretty tough dude. So I think that's pretty neat. You've taken us on a wonderful journey here today, and I'm very, very happy to have you on the show to share these incredible events you do. Before I let you go today, could you share some words of wisdom, a success quote, or a mantra perhaps?
Yeah, I think one of my favorite mantras is that you need to take 100% responsibility for your life and the results. And what it means is, when there's an event and your response is going to equal the outcome. So you can control that. The events you can't, but the response you can, and you can definitely control the outcome. So if you take 100% responsibility for your life and those results, you're going to do fine.
Boy, wouldn't it be nice if everybody did that?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think things would be a lot better. That's for sure. Nicely said. So how can people learn more about the Grand National Roadster Show and the Sacramento Autorama?
Go to our website, which is www.rodshows.com. And they'll actually are going to be releasing a new website the next week or so. So it might be around the time of the fairs. We'll have our new website up.
Awesome.
And on Facebook, we're Grand National Roadster Show, Sacramento Autorama. Instagram, the same, Grand National Roadster Show and Sacramento Autorama. So look forward to having you on. Absolutely.
I'll put links to all of these on John Shono's page. I think 2022 is the year for all of us to get out and start enjoying life again. Go to events, be a part of it, meet our friends, enjoy these cars the way they're meant to be enjoyed. So I sure hope and encourage all of you in 2022 to add this to your list of wonderful events to attend. And if you live in the snow part of the country or rainy part like I do, I think it might be kind of nice to get away from that.
Absolutely.
And go enjoy some cars. And even more important, the people around the cars, because that is what makes all this so much fun. It's the people. And I encourage you to take a kid with you. Introduce a young one to this world, because you never know what you're going to spark. I want to do a thank out to Tyler Clemenson at Con Media. Con Media and all their great team have brought me so many great people to this show. So thank you, Tyler, for introducing me to John. John, thanks for being so generous today with your time and your expertise. You put on an awesome show. No doubt it's going to be a wonderful year in 2022. Until you and I talk again, I'll see you at the Grand National Roadster Show and the Sacramento Autorama.
Awesome. Thank you so much.
This has been fun. Cars Yeah is proud to support our veterans, which is why I've teamed up with our nonprofit partner, TechForce Foundation, through its Veterans at Work Military Transition Campaign. The tech shortage is very real, and our country needs skilled, qualified techs to keep our cars, trucks, airplanes, and fleets rolling. When so many vets build their skills in maintaining and servicing vehicles when deployed, TechForce helps transition those skills to jobs as professional technicians when they come home. Learn more about TechForce Foundation and its Veterans at Work Military Transition Fund at techforce.org today.
Thank you so much for joining us on today's ride here at Cars Yeah. Drive on over to carsyeah.com to find show notes and inspiring automotive fun. Download your free copy of Filler Up, a fun book filled with gorgeous photographs of fuel filler fun, including quotes from more inspiring automotive enthusiasts. Download your copy today, and we'll see you next time on Cars Yeah!